All right, welcome to another episode of the Freezin for NFC North Podcast, episode 63, 2023 Week 6 review, Week 6 preview. Fields injured. Oh, mess. Just a mess.
I said I pray that young man stays healthy. I
didn't want to say anything during the open, but we'll get into it a little bit. But Vikings win a battle of the bad, just ridiculous. And the Lions leap to the top of the NFL. So we have the two of us tonight. We'll see if Trevor and Dave jump in. I know Dave is old, so he's asleep, but we'll definitely take you around the NFC North tonight. It's just we'll go ahead and start there. I mean, you watched the Vikings and the Bears game, correct?
Yes, I did. Do
you feel like you want that time back?
It was horrible, man. It was definitely horrible. I couldn't believe that you guys went in there knowing that they can't get no pressure no other way than the blitz. That's the only way they can get pressure. And y'all go out there and try to they got your young boy killed, man. Both of them.
Well, and you've seen the memes going around of Luke, the center blocking his own guy. Like it's just, it was a mess. It was it's sad. It's laughable. It's all those things in Bears. Bears are being the Bears. It's embarrassing.
And then the Vikings didn't really do shit offensively. They weren't that good either. Field goal, punt, fumble, turnover. Touchdown, punt, scoop and score, miss field goal, punt, turnover on downs. They ain't do nothing. 220 yards.
Here's the sad thing. Like, I looked at it and, as bad and as putrid as the offense has been, the play calling getsy, the line play, the defense has actually gotten better and just it's wasted. I mean, the defense is overall currently it's not much better, right?
Yeah, because y'all always on the field. So like
always on the field.
Yeah, you can't really gauge that,
But this point so far, last year we had Roquan, we still had some of the big pieces before this trades. Overall, last year this time 29th in defense, and now we're currently 25th. Rush defense, this is crazy. Last year 31st. This year we're 8th in rush defense. See? And pass defense, that's the one. What's that?
I said, see.
I'd say, yeah. And points allowed, 32nd to 29th. So it's not a ton better, but it's better for the Bears. And it's just crazy as a Bears fan to sit back and watch how inept that offense is, right? And just, all of the injuries in the defense, and yet they are staying in some of these games. It just blows my mind how this team and this coaching staff could, still have jobs. It really blows my mind. And you have to be, they've been around the NFL. They should know certain things. Like this is how you prepare. And I was going to go off on a huge tangent because right in the game, Bears Twitter and everything was kind of going, see, Bagent is better than Fields. And I was just going to go off. Really? Like, and so like that's the Chicago. He did. Yeah. And so just splitting that, like, okay, Fields has shown that he's got talent. And now we're going to, all right, here we go. Killa is saying 3/4 of the NFC North is having to look at the draft. Yes. And yes, half, that's the only half the Packers start doing something. Yeah. I don't know if the Packers are going to be doing anything. I mean, I'm hoping they don't, but I know the Bears aren't doing anything. And that's the sad thing. Like, I think as a Bears fan, you see the talent that's there. Defensively, they're starting to do something. And I know in Chicago radio they talked about, Eberflus, would he stay on as defensive coordinator and hire a different head coach? Because he's actually doing something, right?
Yeah. It's you guys are real young, especially up front. So it's like it's you knew it was going to start kind of slow and then it would pick up eventually. I figured it would. I just know the way, because how Eberflus had the Colts looking, like the way the players that he drafted, the kind of players, big, strong, fast. Like I know, like soon it's gonna start to materialize in a way. Now you might have to make a trade or draft like a superior, dominant somebody up front. You know what I'm saying? But I knew that it would pick up eventually. And then you see with the run game, you guys, nobody's really able to really run on you guys unless they start opening up on you in the pass or something. But you guys been solid up front as far as the running, stopping the run. And that's basically it's a good start. The trenches is where you start. That's how you build your team.
It's crazy because last year it was not the case, and this year, the pass rush hasn't necessarily been there, but you got Javon Dexter starting to show up, and Andrew Billings is doing well, and so you have some of those players that like they're flashing, and then it's like wasted because of what's happening on the offensive side. It's sickening as a Bears fan. I'm sure everyone else is kind of laughing and just eating their popcorn, but it's just. That's the hard thing as a fan, just to kind of sit back and watch this. And then, yes, I know I've been accused of kind of being a Fields apologist, and I still like the talent and everything. And he has had issues with holding the ball too long. And that's the big thing. He was actually injured holding the ball too long. And trying to pass it.
Do you know like that's how most mobile quarterbacks get hurt? That's how Lamar Jackson got hurt last year. He got hurt.
Trying to hold it too long. Okay.
So it's like I don't know, man. Justin Fields is gonna be the one that gets really the full blame for this, because he probably won't explode as a Chicago Bear. You know what I mean? Because I know if you guys are in the sweepstakes for Caleb Williams, you know where y'all gonna go. But it's it'll be in the same situation that Justin Fields is in. Fix that line, get a real coach, some assistant coaches that know how to develop talent, and a real scheme. You know what I'm saying? A real offensive minded offensive coordinator that really knows how to use that type of talent. You're not using them right at all, and then it's like from 1 week you go from aggressive to conservative. You go 2 weeks aggressive into right back into conservative, which didn't work. Like you're running into a wall every time, and it's kind of sad to watch because I know Justin Fields is better than that.
He is, and that's the problem. We talk about the play calling, and so like. We have been successful in the run in spite of everything that all of the injuries, being out. I mean, Dante Foreman, they were successful in the run. And so it's like they go against anything that's working, they stop doing.
You had 162 yards this week. You know what I'm saying? Y'all 6th in the league in rushing. Like, what the fuck, man? Yo, what? It's hard to watch, man. It's hard to watch. It's hard to watch.
It's hard to understand as a fan. I mean, obviously we don't have those jobs, but I feel like, it could be a video game and anybody can do better than this. And that's the sad thing, that when it comes down to it, the ownership kind of put the green light on this. They must have heard something in the interview to say, oh yeah, Getsy's our guy. Eberflus, he's our guy. And it's just not working. And it's, we'll see. I mean, if not partway through the season, someone's going to have to lose their job. It just, and at this point, when now we're kind of in just this weird place with Fields. He showed flashes for those 2 games, but even I'm starting to be on the fence too, because you have to be available, and he hasn't been.
Yeah, and it's hard with his skill set too. Like, you got to use his legs, man. It'd be demonstrably just incompetent to not use that once in a lifetime super talent that he has, and he got it. And I see with the flashes. So when you flash the way he flashed last year and flashed the 2 games this year, it's like You have something. Let's build upon it.
The one thing, and so like, and I had put on Twitter that the Bajent apologists were worse than the Jordan Love apologists, and they were saying, "Oh, see, he's doing good," but there are limitations to him as far as he doesn't have the arm strength. He doesn't have the all of that big playability. He doesn't have that. It'll be interesting to see, and we'll talk about it a little bit later. But it'll be interesting to see as far as how he does. Because he is able to get the ball out quicker. He makes better decisions. And it really seems like from hearing in the locker room that these the players are on his side. They literally kind of came up to him. Reporters heard them saying, good shit, 17, good shit, and like they're calling him like he's got that dog in him. So he has that ability. He's not fazed by the moment. Like today in the press conference, he talked about he doesn't get fazed because he's already pretty much, outkicked his coverage on pretty much everything. He's been up against it. So I like that. And he's doubtful for this week, but it's, pretty certain it's going to be a multiple week injury.
Yeah, it's a broken thumb.
So if Bajent, it's dislocated, so it's not broken. Okay. So, but still, it's like ripping the ball.
Right.
So what if Bajent does well and gets a win or two? And would you put Fields back in?
If you guys win these 2 or 3 games that he's out, and the offense is moving, matriculating down the field, I don't think you have a choice. It's a results-driven league. It doesn't matter where it comes from. We've seen it before. Tom Brady, Drew Bledsoe. You see it all the time, you know what I mean? So you got to keep him in. You got to.
And I don't know are you sold on Brock Purdy?
No.
Okay. So that's, no. Okay. So this is almost what I equate this to, right? So what if Bajent does well, and he almost saves some of the coaches' jobs, Getsy, and they're like, oh, see, we got our quarterback that can do our thing, and then they do, win 5 games or whatever the rest of the season, whatever to kind of get respectable. Do they decide to roll with him next year? I do think if it doesn't work out, I do think if he does play good, maybe you can rob somebody for a few first rounder or something with Justin Fields. You know what I mean? And you can probably. If you don't have to draft a quarterback, then you can do something with the defensive line. You can get Marvin Harrison. You know what I'm saying? You can do some shit. You can. You can. If you want to do the pick thing. I'm not. Yeah. And I just, it's like when I think of Justin Fields, I just think of like, letting the ex-girlfriend go. And then she has a just, glow up or whatever. And just, right? Like he goes to Atlanta and just like balls out and they're like, see, it's there. Yeah. Just had to have Arthur Smith or the right coach, and so it's just.
I want to see him do well. I think I do, yeah. Just like Jared Goff, you know what I'm saying? These aren't bad people. These aren't like the assholes of the league. Like you want to see that type of guy do well. I just think he just needs a new environment to do it under. If it's a new coach in Chicago and he comes back and lights it up again, fine. But I just think it's better that he gets a new start, a new home, somewhere where he can go to another. Maybe even a smaller market, or maybe go somewhere and build something like in Jared Goff's case. You know what I'm saying? And it'll be, everybody loves a comeback. Yeah. Everybody loves a comeback. You know what I'm saying? And then he's going to take the grunt and get that stigma that Jared Goff has on him with the turnovers and the fumbles and the not being able to read a defense. The things that this offense has not allowed him to show or even nurture. You know
Yes.
So, it's you just got the wrong coaching staff. I don't understand with the game plan. And then it was 10. Y'all had 10 days off.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Yeah,
for that. Oh my God! I'm like, they played Thursday. What the fuck?
That's the exact same thing we thought for the Packers game, right? Like you had the whole off season, and that's what you come out with. just not prepared. And that's the biggest thing this coaching staff has talked about, being, prepared with all the details, the hits principle and everything. And just there were, when you have,
if you got to simplify the offense, simplify the fucking offense, yo.
So that was an interesting thing today. They interviewed Bagent, and he actually made a comment in his press conference that he had told the coaching staff that he knew the whole playbook. They didn't have to simplify it for him. So we'll see. I mean, he's got that moxie. I mean, we'll see what he can do. I just don't know what to root for this year. Like, I want them to get a better draft pick, but I also want to see something. It's just,
if that ball come out fast, I am going to die laughing. If he ain't holding on to that ball and it come out in 2 seconds, and y'all moving the ball, I'm gonna die.
Hey, if that's happening, I'm gonna take the silver lining. And so this is the other thing, like transitioning like into the Packer stuff. Obviously, I'm a Packer hate, right? I can see Bagent doing better than Jordan Love. I'm going to be tweeting all about that during the game.
He ain't got that arm. Jordan Love got a pretty good arm.
He does, but Jordan Love, he doesn't know how to make good decisions lately, right?
And you know what? Your boy already starting off with a better pass completion percentage.
He is.
Yeah, so.
Well,
I hope he does well, man. I want to see you win, man. You're a good guy, man. I told you, man. Your podcast humanizes you NFC North guys, yo.
I appreciate that. Well, let's look on the other side. The Vikings, I mean, they're bad, right?
Yeah, they're not here. The Vikings people aren't here. But I want to tell you, listen, Kirk Cousins is only good because Justin Jefferson is there. Okay? Mm-hmm. That takes away your whole game plan. Y'all play you can't do the same thing without Justin Jefferson. You can't. He's not Matthew Stafford. He's not that good. And this right here is just going to make it easier for you guys to part ways with Kirk. He fumbles too much. The turnovers are mad stupid. Okay? The only receiver that averaged over 10 yards of reception was KJ Osborne, and I'll take my chances with that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'll take my chances with that. Trust me.
And that touchdown it felt like it was busted coverage. It was easy one in the corner, so it was really not much.
He ain't do shit either. He only had 3 catches. Come on, man. 3 catches, 28 yards.
Yeah, I mean, so 19-13. It's to have the Bears in that game. It was just so weird, and just, I mean, I guess you can take some positives if you're a Vikings fan that you actually have the win, but it's just you're no closer to knowing who your quarterback is going to be next year.
Y'all went back to JV team again. Y'all did the Packers game again. Y'all know everything that they did to y'all the first game. I've seen them do a million times. Everything that the Vikings do every week, pressure. That's all they did all day. 74% of the defensive snaps were blitzes that you knew were coming. Mm-hmm. Did nothing.
Nothing.
I can't fuck that.
No, it is. Yeah. Well, let's move on to the Lions. And obviously they got another win. Your buddy Stephen A. Smith, he is all about those Lions, putting them on number 1. So where are your helmet stickers for their win versus the Buccaneers?
Well, thank you. I'll take the floor now. Shout out to Levante David for playing a hell of a game. He covered the shit out of Laporta. He was giving him headaches, and I think he's going to go through the same thing this week with Roquan Smith. He about to see some good interior alignment in the next couple of weeks.
So fantasy, you might fade Laporta if you have to, or
nah? Because I think like after a while they're gonna have to. The one thing about my team, this is what I love about this new Detroit Lions team. We are 5-1, and we beat all 5 teams 3 different ways. And when you win different ways, you got you a good friend. You got you a good team. That ball club is good. We got a different. The defense played like the secondary played, but I mean, thanks to Baker Mayfield being a bum that everyone still believes in. They just want him to do. They want Brett Favre back. I think they just want that back. You know, he ain't that. Can't throw. He's another one kind of holds the ball, throws late. You know what I'm saying? He's a fucking bum. Always been. We couldn't run the ball, so what you do? Jared go win this. Jared Goff went out there and won this. Since the first time I got on this podcast, what I said? He ain't the problem. Jared Goff is the problem.
He had like Jared Goff had 353 yards.
53.
That's
53. We only had 20 points, but the good thing about him, we used the pass game like the run game. So even when we had the punt, we had the ball for 8 minutes. I love that guy. I like Jared Goff. I'm in love with Jared Goff now. You know what I'm saying? I probably won't be Sunday because it's so boring to watch, but I'll take it any day. I love the way he's playing right now.
You'll still take him over Stafford, or
I'm a flash guy, so like I just missed that. You know?
Yeah.
You saw the touchdown of Jamison Williams, like the ball was fluttering in the air, like
big
man and hurt his neck. Like it was horrible. It was horrible. But I've seen Stafford lose that game before. You know, like I've seen Jared Goff win games, Matthew Stafford lost 20, 30 times. And that's big for me. That's big for me.
And I know, I mean, it's almost by default, but Jared Goff is the best quarterback in the division. He really is.
Oh yeah. I felt he was on the second half of the year last year. If you cut that year a half from game 8 on, he was lights out. No interceptions. Like he was lights out, man. We played well. The defense played okay. They still can't run the ball on us. You know, we did pretty well against Godwin and Evans. You know, it was pretty good. Baker Mayfield's a bum though, so I really don't gauge it. I think this is a true test this week. Coming up.
I want to transition to that. I mean, the Lions are 3-point underdogs in Baltimore to the Ravens, and I mean, is that mainly because it's on the road?
Could be that it's on the road. It could be just that we're an up and coming team. They don't, even though at 5-1. If you look at the records of the teams that we beat better teams than the 49ers, Eagles, Dolphins. Dolphins ain't beat nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody. And when they played somebody, they got the shit beat down their legs. So they played nobody. 49ers played nobody. Dallas ain't played. Nobody played nobody. We beat the Chiefs. You say what you want about that. We were missing people too. You can say what you want about that. We beat the 3-1 Bucks. All right, they got a winning record. They beat everybody in my division so far, so they're not a really bad team. Their defense stout, so we beat teams with great defense. Now we got to play against another juggernaut. So we'll adjust. We'll do okay.
And Seattle is a tough team. I mean, that one loss. I mean, they're legit.
Yeah, we hurt each other that day. But it was like every other play somebody was coming off the field on both sides. That was just physical against physical. And whoever got the ball last was going to win, and that's what happened. Same thing from last year.
So, are you worried? Who are you worried most for on the offense of the Ravens? I mean, obviously it's Lamar, but right, but other wide receivers.
I'm worried about that speed, man. That speed on the outside. I think we'll probably do the same thing we did to Baker Mayfield this week. Not so much attack Lamar. Maybe just kind of pinch him a little bit, just kind of condense the pocket and make him, uncomfortable in there. Not a lot of sacks. Like Aiden Hutchinson didn't have a lot of pressures this week because the objective was to keep Baker in the pocket, and that's where he's the most inaccurate. And I think that's the same thing we should do with Lamar. Trust his receivers to drop the ball, punish them when they do, because they're small, all of them. So I'm worried about the speed. I am definitely worried about the speed. We don't have like a clear just stick with a guy, cover corner, We just don't. We don't have that.
So with when the Seattle beat the Lions, was it more because of the wide receivers or because of the running backs or like offensively?
We shut their run down too. It was more so just I think we just game plan terribly for them. Like we just tried we put Jerry Jacobs on DK Metcalf. That was a huge mistake. He's too big, too fast, too physical, and Geno Smith is relatively accurate. So,
yeah,
he was just hitting the things that Baker couldn't hit last week. Geno was hitting them, and we couldn't get pressure.
So yeah, I mean, Lamar's talented, but he's not as accurate.
He's not lighting it up right now. Not. And the thing is, they play down to their competition, and they let people stick around. It's no way in the world. If you saw that Steelers-Ravens game, the Ravens had control of that whole game, and they kept playing and playing and playing and playing. And then the Steelers ended up going deep to Pickens, and they lost. So I think that we'll be able to compete pretty well against them. It's not as it's not as written in stone as people may think. It's the Ravens. They're going to show the Lions this week. No. I think we're here. We're here.
Yeah. So you're taking the Lions this week?
Yes, I am. And I'm taking them 24-17.
24-17. Okay. Yeah, I mean, when you look at that Ravens defense, I have the Lions defense in most of my fantasy leagues, and I've been starting them. Obviously, it's been helpful, with what they've been doing. I also have in a few of my leagues a backup defense, and the Ravens are my backup defense. So it's kind of going back and forth. But when you look at what the Lions have done, I trust the Lions defense more than I do the Ravens defense right now. It just the Ravens defense is tough though, aren't they?
Yeah, they are tough, but they will let them receivers get behind them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they get, you can throw bombs on them, okay? And then you don't want to. I got that monster. I got that 9 back now. That 9 is back now. So, woo!
What about because presumably Montgomery's going to be gone, right?
Yeah, but you know what? I think Jahmyr Gibbs is probably going to practice at some point this week, and we'll see. If not, then we'll play Reynolds. I don't need Reynolds to carry the ball 30 times. What I need Reynolds to do is just be steady as he's been. All right, we couldn't run the ball on the Bucks. We split him out wide. What'd he do? We throw a screen to him, 29 yards. And then maybe I just want you to knock a motherfucking head off. Maybe I just want that. So we play together. It doesn't matter. Jared Goff hit 8 different receivers.
This is crazy. Obviously, when you look at the Lions and just the depth that they have, because I told you about David Montgomery. Like, I think he's the smash mouth. He's the one that can knock your head off. He can do that. Yeah. But part of his running style then is it's getting injured. Getting that rib and.
Did he have that with y'all?
Oh, if not, he had a knee. He might have had that, but yeah, he definitely had a knee. He was out a lot, and that was, I think, the big part of why they moved on. The talent is there. It's just kind of, staying on the field. And now, obviously, Bears were missing.
He fell on the ball.
He did. I know. I felt he was running hard, and that's what he's doing, and that's what he does best. But you still won, and so that is like it's hard to deny a team that, like you said, is winning different ways and just it's the opposite with the Bears. I mean, they find ways to lose, and that's obviously the talent is there, but then the coaching, that's a big part of the coaching, and when you can find ways to win in whatever style it may be. That is what's good for the long haul. I mean, moving on to, I'm going to go ahead and pick the Lions as well. I'll say, I'm going to say 28-20. I'm going to say 28-20 Lions. So, got to get your Kool-Aid ready.
You know what I had to go get?
You got to get your Kool-Aid.
I had to get that blue juice, man.
It's right there. Well, I think I told you I've got my tickets to the Chargers-Lions game, and I do have a shirt that I'm going to break out. It actually, I don't know if you've seen it. It says Detroit Lions. Iowa in the middle of it. So there you go.
We got a whole bunch of good Iowa people on that team.
A bunch of Iowa people. Yep. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Lions as well.
What's up with them Chargers, man? Don't they find a way to lose too? Jesus Christ.
They do. That's the thing too. You talk about quarterbacks. I mean, you talk about Justin Fields and the coaching staff. It's Herbert. Yeah, I mean he's got all the talent. I do think he's got more talent than Fields. But yeah, he has not gotten better and just not found a way to win. And so talking about finding a way to win. So the Bears, playing the Raiders this week, and
that shit show.
It's going to be. I just don't. I mean, we don't know if Jimmy G is going to play yet, and obviously Tyson Bagent. It's just. I just don't know as a Bears fan what to root for right now. I just don't. Last year, I was like, okay, I was signed up for it. I was like, it sucked to lose to the Packers, right? Yeah. And obviously, but you could see, okay, this is the plan, and then it played out perfectly. Like this is the opposite this year, just the opposite. Like we don't even get a chance to see is Fields the guy, and now we have to deal with is Tyson Bagent the guy, and this secret Bagent man.
You know what, man? At this point, it can't really get no worse. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't look much different from the way Justin Fields was playing anyway. So
that was the thing. Yeah. So like he makes quick decisions, and he's not bothered by the moment.
And that's Justin Fields' Achilles heel, by the way.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what makes him average.
Yes.
It's the fact that he just doesn't get the ball out and anticipate. And if he anticipates and he gets the ball out, hold the ball 2 seconds and get them slants going with some of them receivers, like it can get ugly. I see Mooney getting a little bit more action now.
Yes, Mooney, and
they play fast like that and just slant and do quick routes all day. I can see him getting busy this week.
Tyler Scott also,
because that's fast.
He is. So yeah, those are possibilities. And fantasy wise, obviously, unless you're in like a 24-32 team league, you're staying away from the quarterbacks in this Hoyer versus Bagent. But yeah, I mean, this is an opportunity for this coaching staff to say, see, I told you so. You get a quarterback that we want, the style we want, we can win. And I think that's a losing situation for the Bears as well, because this coaching staff has proven that they cannot prepare and they could not. They just don't know what they're doing.
If you can't do it with Justin Fields, you can't do it with nobody.
You can't, and so that's the hard thing. But like I said, I don't know what to root for. I am rooting for Tyson Bagent to at least look better than Jordan Love. That is what I'm rooting for, and I'm going to be all over Twitter, X, whatever, with those comments. But when you look at it, I mean, at this point, as a Bears fan, if Fields misses this game, probably up to 3 or 4 games, if not more, to get just the grip in his hands. It just it's pretty much a lost season already.
Yeah, I mean, I don't believe NFL teams do this, like kind of tank for QBs or whatever. I mean, you got the help. You got 2 first-round picks that you could probably get. I think it'd be like the worst case scenario if you guys get 1 and 2. Because I mean, you can trade back definitely, but I think like they're gonna be on your ass. You should have got, Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison, man, and we'll have this all. No, it just doesn't work that way, man.
Nope.
You gotta be able to stop people. You got teams around the league do shit like that, and they can't stop nobody. So it was going around on Chicago radio that kind of joke today that. Obviously you hear all the rumblings about Caleb Williams not wanting to play for the Bears and all of this and stuff. But, some of these stories are like months old and they're coming out now. Right. And so if they got 1 and 2, they, if they really wanted to stick it to Caleb Williams, they could choose like the tackle first. Mm-hmm. And then with the second pick,
pick Caleb Williams and say he didn't go number one to really stick it in, right? I mean, that's kind of like
I'm like, he giving me bad vibes already, but
he is
that shit. I don't want it. This is why I like it when I see players that's kind of like selfish and for themselves. Like this is kind of why I like the fact that we traded TJ Hawkinson away, because I knew that he was gonna want this career. As soon as I saw him grow that hair out and go to tight end university, I knew he was gonna want some money. And I'm glad the Vikings gave it to him. As dumb as that shit was. Now they see what I'm saying now. I wish Dave was here. Dave.
He's asleep. He's an old man. He's an old man.
Yeah, I wish he was here. I wish he was here. Craig, I wish you were here. I told you he was a bum. Now everybody sees it.
So I do have a video from Craig to play in a little bit here when we talk about the Vikings. He's got his picks and everything. Yes, he definitely is going against the Bears, but we'll get to that in a second. So let's go ahead and pick this week with the Bears and Raiders. Who you got in this game?
Well, first I'd like to, thank God it's not a Thursday night game. Thank God for like Amazon, you know what I'm saying? Like Mr. Bezos, I know you happy you dodged that one.
Yep.
I'm gonna say that they have too much at receiver, and Hoyer is experienced enough to just do what the game plan tells him to do, and that's kind of why that punk McDaniels got a job there anyway. Game plan, he just, so I think Hoyer is gonna probably look pretty good against your secondary. And don't you got some guys coming back though?
We do, yeah. And that's another issue right now too. Jalen Johnson's playing well, so one of the issues too is we may be trading him, right? So
I did see that.
Yeah, and so he's playing well, but he's probably not gonna, they're not gonna go challenge him, right? So right. I think. And it stinks because he's a great player, or at least a good player, and just a great guy too. But he understands he may get traded. So we do have secondary coming back, getting healthy, and we're actually scheming better defensively. But it's just you can think of like if they're tired, if they're on the field quite a bit. That's going to be the thing. Can Bagent continue to keep the ball moving and keep the defense off the field? Because if they're tired, this could be, obviously the Bears have done well against the run, but this could be a Josh Jacobs game.
I think he's averaging like 3 yards a carry or something.
I know, but like the Bears have had a habit of kind of making players that are playing bad look better. So it scares me. So
I'm gonna go with the Raiders. Sorry, bro.
No, I get it.
It's nothing against you, my friend.
Oh no,
I just don't trust them. Okay,
I don't either.
I just don't. It's no reason you should have lost last week.
None.
It's no reason. So I'm gonna go with the Raiders because the Raiders they're as incompetent as they are. I just think that it'll kind of be like the Packers in their game. That was another terrible game. 2 bad teams. So I'm probably going to go with the Raiders on this one just because they got, I don't know. That boy Myers plays well.
He's getting better. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And he could have a good game because I feel like Musgrave would have done a lot better versus the Bears had Jordan Love actually completed that long pass to him. So
yeah. So I'm gonna go with the Raiders, and I'm gonna go something of the likes of like 28-24.
20-24. I thought you were gonna do like 3-0.
Nah, I think it'll be some scoring in this game. I think they don't have no tape on Badgett yet. It's no tape, and that means a lot.
It does. It does.
That means a lot. You could go out there looking like Brock Purdy.
He could. Max Crosby scares me. Even if it was Fields, Max Crosby would scare me.
Yeah, but he gets a lot of stupid penalties and shit.
He does.
Got a good right tackle. So.
Obviously everyone's saying should have gone with Jalen Carter, but I like the right tackle.
Don't. Look, Jalen Carter is in a very good situation.
Yes.
Jalen Carter showed nothing pre-draft that was worth him being picked other than where he was. He's with a great organization with veterans and everything to give him model him and to grow him up and raise him and make him an NFL pro. Okay, if he played for the Bears, it'll be different. If he played for us, it'll be different. We'll be asking more of him. He plays like half the snaps.
Yes, exactly. That's the biggest thing.
He's got a full tank of gas.
He does. Yeah. So I said that Max Crosby scares me, and what scares me more is that the Bears win this game with Bagent, and Bagent looks good. That I don't know why a win scares me, but this is such a weird place to be because
you know what it is. Justin Fields is a better football player than Bagent probably ever be in life. But if he wins and the results are made, and there's no tape on him now, so if he wins 2-3 straight, they're gonna leave him in, and Justin Fields is gonna become disgruntled, or they're gonna trade him or something like that. And you know how that's gonna end. All right, it's gonna be Daniel Jones shit. You know what I'm saying?
It is.
Last year. Now you see what he really is.
So yeah, exactly. And so with the Tyson Bagent thing, obviously, with him being a rookie, so then obviously you go ahead and reset the timeline or whatever. But if he wins, there's so many unknowns. And so obviously I'd like him to win, maybe play average, right? I want the Bears to win, but I don't want it to be because of Tyson Bagent to say, okay, well, he is a quarterback of the future, because he's got a lot of traits, but he just doesn't, he doesn't move the needle long term. I think we talked about it before with Brock Purdy. He's done well, but when you had a good defense in the Browns, he was exposed, right?
Yeah, but you also see, remember y'all did this before. Remember that? You
did
it with Grossman and Kyle Orton.
Oh my gosh. That's the big thing. We've had such a weird quarterback controversy in the past, like Grossman, and it's just disgusting. And that's
guys, y'all do this a lot, man.
Yeah, it's
do this a lot. Man.
So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go hard here. I'm gonna say the Bears win this one. I don't know how, but I'm gonna say the Bears are going to win this one 17-10. It's going to be an ugly game. I think they're going to be fumbles. I just think it's just going to be an ugly game. Bears win 17-10, and unfortunately, we'll continue to save Getsy and Eberflus's jobs, and we will be in this hell continuing to go forward.
Didn't we save one of your coach's job one time? We saved Nagy's job for another week one time.
Probably. Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. Nagy outcoached. Oh yes, that was ridiculous. Oh yeah, because your coach didn't even know the back-to-back timeout situation.
Right. I think Aaron Glenn ran on the sideline and called another timeout.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into the Vikings game, and I want to go ahead.
Short, man. This could be short. The Vikings are going to die on Sunday or Monday or whatever, and they're not going to play well against them because the defense is still there. They're going to kill Cousins. Okay, it's just they even if the 49ers can't move the ball. Okay, right. And please, honestly, I'm keeping homeboy in the tight end. I'm keeping him in on my fantasy.
Yeah.
Because blitz him if you want.
Mm-hmm.
Blitz him 78.4% of the time if you want, and watch what happens. Ayuk is going to be a whole bunch of yak out there on Monday. Whole bunch.
Well, and I don't know if it matters if McCaffrey, even if he doesn't play, I don't think that's going to matter.
It don't. They couldn't move the ball on y'all.
Yeah, they couldn't. So I don't know how they're going to. Well, let's go ahead, and I was going to play, and we can respond here to Craig's.
Let's hear delusional. Let's hear him.
Here we go. Here, we see that.
Yeah,
what's up from Bali? I'm going to keep this short and sweet, just like Justin Fields' career is going to be. I enjoyed watching the Vikings beat the Bears in Bangkok. It was a terrible game to watch, actually. Both teams looked terrible. Justin Fields looked terrible until he got hurt. I really do hope he's okay. I hope his hand, comes back healthy. I still think he stinks either way. But, the new quarterback, what's his name? Baggett? Whatever the hell his name is. I didn't have sound on the TV, and I never heard of him. He's terrible, too. He came in, threw an interception, 10 completions for 85 yards, an interception, and everybody thinks he's good. That's how bad the Bears are at quarterback. They think this dude is actually going to be good. He's terrible. He's so terrible. The team's terrible. They're going to be the worst team in the NFL. I don't think they're going to win another game this year unless Justin Fields comes back and then looks like he did a few weeks ago. But, I don't overreact to those few good weeks from Justin Fields because, he's shown over the years that he just can't continually produce on a consistent basis. And, you guys will be drafting a quarterback soon. It's a shame that he went to that terrible organization at quarterback because they can't develop anybody. Lions look good. I still am not sold they're going to be that great for the entire season. I'm just not sold on Jared Goff. The offense didn't look great this week. I'm not, they're the best team right now in the North by far. It's clear, but it's only about a third of the way through the season, so we'll see what happens. Packers are off. You know my thoughts about the Packers. I think they're a mid-level to maybe below average team. Jordan Love is what he is. He's not a high-end quarterback. They'll be middling for the rest of the year. They'll probably finish around 7 and 10, 8 and 9, something like that. All right, to get down to this week, Vikings have the 49ers coming in. 3 weeks ago, this game seemed impossible. Now it seems like it's a potential victory. It might be a potential opportunity for the Vikings to steal a game at home.
He's drinking the purple Kool-Aid.
A little hobbled. I think he's going to play from what it sounds like. It's super early, so I really don't know. But if he plays and he's not 100%, I think that's actually going to hurt the team a little bit. He is their offense, especially with Deebo Samuel out. It sounds like he's going to be out, and if he is and McCaffrey's not 100%, I think the Vikes win 23-20. If somehow I'm wrong, it's early in the week. I've read everything I can, and Deebo and McCaffrey play. The Vikings are going to lose this game 30-17. But I'm going to say 23-20 Vikes. Skol. We got the what do we get? The Ravens. The Ravens and Lions. Everybody's jumping on the Lions bandwagon. I think everybody's going to be riding high on the Lions. Everybody's going to be picking the Lions. It's going to be a big Lions week. The entire country's ready for the Lions to be good. I actually don't mind the Lions being good because I feel bad for them over the years. Barry Sanders was one of my favorite players back in the day. I still don't think the Lions are gonna. I don't think they're great, and I think the Ravens are due for a bounce back. I'm gonna do a bit of a contrarian pick. I'm gonna say the Ravens beat the Lions on the road. We're gonna go 24-20 Ravens. I think Lamar fixes a few things. I think the Lions are due for kind of a stinker. They've looked good all year, so let's go Ravens. My brother's in purple. All right, Broncos and Pack. I wanted to pick the Pack to lose this week. I hate picking the Pack, but how can you ever pick Sean Payton and that the look he has on his face, that bubble mouth he has? I just don't know how anybody picks him. Anybody cheers for him. He's an asshole. But the Packers aren't that great. The Broncos are just worse. Especially on the road. They're going to go 20-17 Pack. Not because I think the Pack win the game, because I think the Broncos are just one of the worst teams in football, and they're going to be competing with the next team up, the Bears, for the number 1 pick in the NFL. Bears at Raiders. You're going to have
he's
Bagent in there. Bagent, I had the sound off and there didn't have sound on. He's not good. He's not a good quarterback, and I think it's going to be a blowout. I think Max Crosby is going to have about 4 sacks. That defense is going to tear him up. The Raiders are decent at defense. They're not a great team, but the Bears are just terrible. So I'm gonna say 30-6. Raiders win.
Wow,
that's all.
It's consistent.
I'm gonna say fuck the pack. Bear down on these nuts. Lions are cool. And Skol.
Well, there you go. He is
What's up from Bali?
definitely consistent. So we'll just say that. So,
so if we beat the Ravens, are we legit yet?
They have to be. Absolutely.
Thank you.
They
like,
have
who
to
else
be.
we got to beat then? Like, who else?
They got to go 16-1.
Oh, I guess. 49ers don't have to. I mean,
No.
I understand. They've been to the NFC Championship like 3 years straight, something like that. And find a way to lose. It is what it is. Like, it's we'll see. We'll see. I can't wait to see them because I know we can compete with them. I'm very, very, very confident in the fact that we can compete with them. I'm just not looking forward to, to like. I just don't want nobody else to get hurt because it's physical teams against each other.
Yeah,
I don't want anybody to get hurt.
I am confident that the Vikings are going to lose this game. The 49ers just, like we talked about, have too much. I know, obviously, when
this ain't a good matchup for them.
Yeah.
Especially without Justin Jefferson. It's not
without Justin Jefferson, absolutely. And so you're also picking the 49ers?
Yeah, this might still be a blowout.
Okay.
Might still. If they allowed y'all, if they could only score 19 on y'all and only generate 220 yards, like
really, they only scored 13 or 12 because the one was the return.
No, they only generated 2. Yeah, it was a scoop and score.
Yep.
Two field goals, scoop and score.
Yep.
They missed the field goal and they scored on that on the Addison joint. That's it. They didn't do nothing. They punt the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
The whole game. They couldn't do nothing.
Nope.
So what you think they're gonna do against the 49ers? They ain't lose nothing on defense. So
Nope.
Short fields and a whole bunch of touchdowns. So no names.
Well, speaking of no names, those Packers. This is talking to Packer fans, the beginning of the season. You look at the Broncos, and obviously the Bears. I look at the Broncos, and I actually thought the Bears were going to lose the Broncos. I just didn't think it was going to happen the way it did. But when you look at the Packers going 2 Mile High, this is going to be tougher than I think fans realize. Playing in altitude is tough, for players. Fantasy-wise, I am actually probably the only thing I'm picking from the Packers. I actually picked up their kicker, Anders Carlson, because I think, we'll see if they stall in the red zone. And he's got a big leg anyway. And, in altitude, I think they can kick a little bit further. But I don't see the Packers the way Jordan Love has been playing. I don't see them winning this game. Obviously, the Broncos have a terrible defense, but I don't know what your thoughts are.
I think we just look at what we see on paper with the Broncos. Like, I just don't think that they fit schematically with what the coach wants to do. So it's not a good situation. The coach from what I learned the last few years, like even if the coach like Jared Goff is mild mannered, Campbell is rah-rah. But Jared is humble enough to take that leadership, and just Russell Wilson wanted to be something that he's not.
Mm-hmm.
And Pete Carroll kept that within a little capsule and just kept him in and did what he did well. You know what I'm saying? And what they're asking of him now, he's not. And it looks terrible. It doesn't look that good. He's not necessarily having a worse season, by the way. You know what I'm saying? But it just doesn't look. It just don't. The Russell Wilson we know with the Seahawks, like the luck
cook.
Like, just everything bounces their way. But they just look good on paper. The defense really shouldn't be that bad either. Like, they don't look that bad on paper defensively either.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I just don't expect them to beat the Packers. I think the Packers are gonna kind of gash them to death. Is Aaron Jones coming back?
I think it's still questionable. I mean, that's the thing. I think the Packers are missing Aaron Jones. I think that's huge to have.
That's one thing y'all did right that game.
Injured him.
Well, he injured himself running from y'all.
I love this. Packers more irrelevant than the Bears and the Vikings. You love
it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's the question, and obviously we'll find out in the next few weeks. I mean, where are the Packers at? I mean, the Packers are not a playoff team, right? Yeah. But are they as bad as the Bears and the Vikings right now?
I don't believe so. No, I think they're better than y'all. I do.
Well, obviously they proved it. They beat the Bears, and the big thing was kind of going back and forth. Packer fans, they were blaming that Raiders loss on the coaching, and I'm like, I think I've heard that before.
Yeah,
I think I've heard that before.
Yeah.
Here's a killer. Every time my Lions get a big win, and something weird happens. The Seattle game. Yeah, that's the thing, though. I think in today's day and age in the NFL, you just can't. You're not going to have an undefeated season, right? So that Seattle loss, it's not a bad one. It's not.
We turned that ball over so many times, so many times. Amon-Ra fumbled before the half after a 40-yard pickup. Like we could have kicked the field goal after that. Like we just lost that game. I don't know. Montgomery fumbled. Like it was just in that right game. Out the half. 2 fumbles back to back. Like just wasn't a good.
So you're in that game, and the Lions have had that. Going back to the Packers. Will they be in this game? You're thinking that they're going to win. I mean, Aaron Jones, I think it'll be huge in figuring out if their offense can actually move. I hesitate to say this, but I think this could be, fantasy-wise, this could be an opportunity for Russell Wilson to do something positive, fantasy-wise, and regular NFL as well. Like
I think that the Packers defense is gonna probably do pretty well in this game. Russell Wilson don't have the same. It's no zip on the ball. It's not. I was looking at him last week against Mahomes. Like it just looks so different. Like Mahomes didn't have the best game ever either, but it was just so different. He doesn't look the same. He just doesn't. It's a little. He lost a step.
He could. So this is a question, and maybe I'll have to put it out on Twitter tomorrow. Who has the worst quarterback situation in the NFL? Because obviously, as a Bears fan,
the Jets.
The Jets?
Yes.
No. Well, okay, for this year, or
listen, what the Jets have on offense. Yeah, the Jets have receivers. They got that Breece Hall, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
he is a problem.
Yeah. What they got on offense, the Jets should be putting up 28 points a game easily every week. And the way they defense play, they could blow everybody out every week if Aaron Rodgers was there, they would be probably 5-1 too.
So you went a different way, and I can see why you went that way. Because you look at the Jets; they are built to compete right now.
Yes.
When I was thinking about the question, I almost thought of long term, right? Because how many picks and how much money did the Broncos give to Russell Wilson to have this, right? Like, I mean, so that's horrible. I mean, I'd have to look at. I mean, there are probably a couple of other teams that are in
Giants, another one.
Giants. You give Daniel Jones the bag, and he literally becomes the bag.
They only signed Saquon to a 1-year deal. Like,
yeah,
the only thing they got on that offense. The only thing. Crazy.
So, Packers have talent. They do have a talented front seven.
Yes.
Once Jair, their injuries have definitely hurt. I don't know. I mean, Jair has that reputation, but is he really that good?
He's good. Jay Alexander is good. I mean, he's not necessarily the reason why they lose. It's that they just can't pick safeties for some reason. Like the Packers safeties are horrible, man. Horrible.
Would you take Jalen Johnson or Jair Alexander?
I would take Jair Alexander because I can put him one-on-one. You know what I mean? He got the length. He's pretty sticky in coverage.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? He's pretty sticky in coverage. Probably because I probably know a little more about Jair Alexander, being that we can't do anything with the Packers for many years.
Yeah.
Probably he was always one of the better Packers on the team. He's good. He's good. I like man-to-man. Like, I miss Darius Slay like so much. So much, because you could just take that number one out and all we got to worry about is everybody else. That's it. You know?
Well, when you look at the division, I don't know what teams the Lions are going to have to worry about. I mean, the Bears, where we're at, the Vikings, roster-wise, they don't have a lot of picks and everything. And then, obviously, if Jordan Love doesn't develop, they will be in a state of mediocrity. And that's, I mean, as a Bears fan, that's what I love to see.
Yeah, I think that it's gonna be a fun Sunday for me. I think I'm gonna be happy at the end of the day and looking at ESPN all week. You know, I'm very excited for this week.
Yeah, I mean, I try, like what happened on Sunday with the Bears losing. It was hard to even want to watch a Monday night game. I just wanted to just forget about it and just everything.
Are you one of those people that die every week y'all lose? Like, you just die for a week?
No, I'm not that bad, but it's just been so depressing the way it's gone down. That is just it just because then you just know the talk, it's going to be the same.
Yep.
Is Fields the guy now? Oh, is Bagent the guy? And just it's not as bad as after a Packers loss. I mean, that's just like that is unbearable.
That's what I said. Y'all better beat them because
I know. So at least if the Bears have a terrible season and they beat the Packers at the end, I'll go. That would just be amazing. That might even actually save Ryan Poles' job because, here's the thing. I like Ryan Poles. I like some of the moves he's made. I think you need to give him a little bit more time because really the coach wasn't necessarily his choice.
Let him pick his own coach. I think they'll start taking out like our approach where even though Dan Campbell and Brad didn't know each other in the beginning, they kind of one and the same. They see offense and defense the same way and the type of players they pick. If you notice, all three drafts, everybody plays from round 1 to round 7. Everyone plays. And that's how you're supposed to build a team. That's what all the good teams do. The Patriots and the Steelers. Like, who the fuck is this guy? 6th round pick from 2 years ago. We develop him.
Yeah, even with, how much, obviously people are questioning Jahmyr Gibbs not playing as much. They're like, well, you wasted that pick. Well, you've got all these other late round draft picks that are hitting, so it's not as big of a deal.
No, we reach for you reach for world-class athletes. You do that, all right? Jahmyr Gibbs, if he's nothing, he is a superior athlete. He's fast. He's a 4.3 guy, and once he figures out what to do when he get the ball in his hands and take it right up the gut and stop trying to split it outside all the time, you see what he did against the Chiefs. I mean, what else could you ask for? Like, David Montgomery, what you want to do? Get him hurt? He's not built like David Montgomery.
No,
David Montgomery gets hurt.
Yeah.
So,
almost in the NFL, you need multiple backs, doing different things.
Right.
That's what you want. And let's see, Roasty here. Let's see, Bears are in an enviable position. Poles has to pick a coach that has similar philosophy in terms of type of players. That's why the script is flipped with Detroit. Yeah. I think it's going to be a big thing. Like, as far as, getting the right players and just continuing to build that roster. It was depleted, but it sucked because he actually had talked about it in the media, and he's been more forthright than the coaches. They asked him about the roster and how much they thought he'd flipped the roster out. And he said it was about 80% of, capacity for what he really wanted it. So like he kind of like hyped us fans up, thinking, okay, we were going to be better than we are.
And spent all that money. He had to,
He had to, but we didn't spend as much as we should have. And so the biggest thing is going to be in obviously you talk about draft and everything, and everybody wants to say that the sexy picks of quarterback, wide receiver. But we need, I mean, you talk about we need the upfront. We need a center. We need a center that can actually hike the ball. Like that was ridiculous. Like you got former NFL players saying they've never seen that before.
I never saw no shit like that before, bro.
No,
never.
and even and that throws off the timing. That throws off the timing of the quarterback, and so it's just a mess all around. But when you look at, speaking of mess, we went back to Russell Wilson. His 5-year contract hasn't even started yet, so that is crazy.
Christ.
I mean, that's some money. That's some Jamarcus money. Jamarcus Russell swindling there. I feel like.
And I mean, I don't think Russell Wilson isn't trying. I just don't think that he really meshed. I think that they signed that coach because they just, because of his history with the Saints and what he did with Drew Brees. But Drew Brees is much more. He was cerebral. They were one and the same. He had that fire in his belly. You know what I'm saying? And that's not Russell Wilson. That's just not him. It's not him. And he has to go to somewhere like with Pete Carroll, kind of. Babies you, pampers you a little bit, you take care of you. He's not. He's going to expect you to perform, especially when you get paid that amount of money.
When all is said and done, Pete Carroll, I mean, if you look at his career, he may be one of the greatest coaches of all time.
I tell you, man, he always got a tough team. He always going to. And now, I don't care what nobody say. When he finds a quarterback, a real one, man.
They talked about how he's actually, was it like 3 times or something, he's reinvented his roster.
Yes.
And you look at Bill Belichick. I mean, obviously he's got all those titles with Tom Brady, but you see what he's doing now without Tom Brady. He may not be. You feel bad for Bill Belichick?
Well, he's a Giants used to be the defensive coordinator for the Giants. I'm like a closeted Giants fan. I'm from Jersey and shit, so I'm a closeted. My family all Giants fans, so anybody come from that Parcells tree, I kind of got a little bit of respect for. Garfield, New Jersey. That's that he's a Jersey guy. Parcells and all of his defensive coordinators, they're pretty good.
I guess I can see that. I thought you might have just blamed Patricia on him and just kind of been done with the whole.
No, tree. Patricia was good at what he's a good defensive coordinator with Bill Belichick over his shoulder watching him. That fat motherfucker used to come to his own meetings late. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Fuck Matt Patricia. Don't start it with him. I'm glad he gone because I'll be pissed off every show too, like you. We don't need that. My energy is good right now.
Yeah, when I went to training camp, I just couldn't believe that. Like sitting in the stands, how they actually made comments. And security said, don't take any pictures or video. Matt Patricia and Bill Belichick might be, watching it. It was just how many years after that? That's still on Lions' mind.
That's the shit that y'all do. This is what Patricia does when. In my brain, I'm thinking like maybe since he did it with the Patriots, just maybe this motherfucker come out of man, but he wouldn't. We'll start the game off, we'll be beaten, and everybody came back on us because he would just constantly stay in man coverage, and then everyone figured it out every week, and we lose the same way.
That's how the Bears are with offensively. We did the Nagy. It's just, it's kind of like, and that's what scares me about the next coaching hire. Because at the end of the year, they've got to get rid of this coaching staff. And Eberflus is a discount Matt Patricia. No, I would not. I put a little bit more respect on Matt Patricia's name.
Fuck Patricia. He's fat. Stinking ass. He traded all my good players away, yo.
It's
not working.
Did he have like a pencil?
It's not working. So he gets rid of Darius Slay. He gets rid of Quandre Diggs. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The reason why Calvin Johnson retired is because they was trying to trade him. What would you do that for?
Yeah.
What would you do that for? Like, yo, get them anything Patriot, get them out. The reason why I feel bad for Bill Belichick, because I know he coaches discipline. And when you see Mac Jones do this undisciplined shit every week, they jumping off sides every other play. Like that ain't a Bill Belichick team. That
I don't think his teammates like him either, Mac Jones.
No, nobody likes him. Nobody likes him. He doesn't have any talent. He doesn't have any talent, and everybody figured it out. Everyone did.
Well, Rosia said, not to mention Quinn spent picks on really slow Patriot defenders for Patricia. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. He drafted Tease Tabor, a cornerback that ran a 4.6 in the
I don't
second
even know who that
round.
is.
In the second round, Tease Tabor. He had to play the NFL. I think he just bounced from practice. I just see him once in a while. Like, damn, this motherfucker's still hanging around. He on practice squads. He's never.
Wow. Well, speaking of a team that's kind of been a tease, obviously Minnesota. You know, all fans thought they were going to be good this year. I did pick them, I think, to be 5-12, or and I remember when we went through. People were kind of like, "What?" Like calling me crazy, but when you win all these close games, it's got to turn around. But
we knew that was going to happen. We all saw that. Me and you and everybody else except for Dave.
Dave didn't want to see it. He didn't want to see it. Well, and Craig didn't want to see it either.
Yeah, we all knew that. They don't have nobody but Justin Jefferson. All right, you can hold on to your Harrison Smith dreams and all that he's still good and competent. No, they're all washed. It's over.
And I do like Flores, and that was kind of the thing that Vikings fans said. Well, they've got Flores; they're going to do. I do like him, but it doesn't matter how good of a coach you are if you don't have the talent on defense. You can't do what you need to do.
All that blitzing, and they still don't get no pressure.
Nope.
I don't want to hear that. Well, how many sacks do they have? I'm about to find out for you. They're all that blitzing, all that fucking blitzing.
You're right. Yeah, they don't have a ton. Killa says, I would trade JJ and just hard reset. I don't know if they would do that. He is such a marketing. I mean, it'd be interesting if he actually decides if he doesn't re-sign with them. But they like the Vikings training camp. He was all over. They did have the gritty stuff, and he actually came out to the crowd, and he's fantastic with the crowd. But I just don't think you could trade that marketing wise, and just with how transcendent the player Justin Jefferson is, you just can't trade him. I don't think.
Yeah, they're gonna lose him.
Yeah, I think they are. I mean, I don't know. Especially if they don't have an answer at quarterback, he's not gonna want to stay there.
You can probably get two first rounders for him.
Really?
But yeah, because he's that good. He's good. He's good. I got a first round for Roy Williams one time.
Well, I mean, I'd have to look at how many years he's got on his contract, but you can't necessarily get that much if he's only got a year left on his contract, right?
But they're gonna sign him to a big. He'll be the highest paid wide receiver.
He should be.
He definitely will be. And if they send him somewhere with like a real quarterback that got other pieces around him that you don't have to use them like they do. Like he honestly, like everybody knows how to beat the Vikings. They just let him do his thing and don't let him score. That's it. That's it.
See, I feel like so the problem in the NFL with a lot of these teams is you have these coaches that have egos, right? And it has to be their system, and they have to try to fit their players into their system rather than using the players' gifts and talents. And I'm sure that's probably what the Lions have done well. You take a player like Jared Goff, who was run out of town out of the Rams, and he may very well be a Pro Bowl quarterback at the end of it, right? And so, but you take the Vikings and Kirk Cousins. I know you're maybe not a fan. He's got the talent. I think he's got some talent to do well, but without Jefferson, it's tough. And if you're just going to fully rely on Jefferson, you got to do some other things. I mean, I feel like they were pretty arrogant to think they could just get rid of Dalvin Cook and then let's just go with Madison.
With Madison, like come on, man. Come on, man.
I mean, I'm sure he's a good guy, but not long.
that threat that Cook brought, that take it to the house. You don't have that no more. So they're very easy to beat. Very easy to beat. Justin Jefferson is one of those players. He's better than everybody else. He's gonna get his, but bracket him, keep him in a box, let him get his yards, keep him out the end zone, and then trust TJ Hawkinson. And now you got the other Addison guy who only had 3 catches and 28 yards the other day.
I think Addison can be good. I think he can be, but
he too slim.
Yeah.
He's too slim. He's too small. You know what I'm saying? You can't run him in the middle. You can't really do that. You got to kind of keep him on the outside a lot, you know, deep slants, if any. But you're not going to put him in there with no linebackers. I don't think he's as savvy and wiry as Justin Jefferson. So that takes away from a lot of his explosives. You know, like he's all right. He's gonna be good with Justin Jefferson there.
Yeah,
you know, he's an upgrade from Thielen, but Thielen kind of balling now.
You know? He is. Yeah, but Thielen was kind of going downhill in that system. Yeah. I think, and that's the problem. You got a DJ Moore with the Bears. I mean,
who would you take? Would you keep Thielen, or would you trade for TJ Hawkinson for a 2nd round pick and then pay him a stupid amount of money?
Knowing where it was at, I would have gone with Hawkinson, because Thielen, he is going downhill, right? And savvy veteran, but when you look at obviously where Thielen was, he just was trending in a bad direction. He wasn't on the field a lot, and so I don't know if I would have paid Hawkinson that amount of money, but obviously if you trade him, you have to kind of feel like you want him long term. So
the Vikings didn't have a defense last year. They were winning before they even got TJ Hawkinson, so it wasn't like he made them super better or nothing, because they started losing most of their games when he got there. So I don't understand. He's not the type of guy that's going to carry you. He's not a Kelsey. He's not that. So I
think it was a splash play like they were hoping he would be, right? Like I think
it's documented. It's documented in Detroit. You see it. The same thing he does with them, he's doing with us. He did with us. Like the same guy, soft, drops a lot of passes. I think Thielen and him kind of do the same thing over the middle. You move Thielen into the slot and you let him control the middle like he's doing now.
But was Thielen like, so you talk about like coaching staffs or even general managers, I think if you have players that aren't their guys, right? Thielen was there before Kwesi, right? He was there. And obviously you have to talk to kind of more people who were in the Vikings. But I would kind of look at that and say, okay, well, Thielen wasn't their guy. So they're going to go out and kind of reshape the roster the way they want it. And you look at it, they would want, a tight end. Hawkinson has that. He's from Iowa. He's got that Iowa stock, but yeah, and he's got that name. So yeah, but that is a lot of money for a tight end.
A lot of money for a tight end. Kwesi gonna lose his job too, just like Poles.
Yeah,
because in Poles, looks like he's drafting better.
He is.
Kwesi ain't draft nobody. Everybody he drafted, only I think the best player on his team is undrafted that he drafted.
Yes. So, a defensive player.
Yeah.
So Addison here reminds him of Titus Young. Oof.
Titus Young was all right, man. He just was crazy. That's all.
Yeah.
Well,
Addison did drive fast, so.
Addison
did get picked up for driving too fast. And I think the story was that he had his dog in the car and his dog was sick.
Titus Young really thought he was better than Calvin Johnson. Like he really did. He really wanted the offense to run through him.
Wow.
He was really crazy. Like,
this is Craig, welcome back, Craig. We played your stuff. We realize that you are definitely out on fields, but you may be in on Bagent. I think we can maybe sell you on Bagent. So you're saying Addison,
name right? Bagent,
secret Bagent man. So Addison plus Jefferson would be great with the right QB next year. Who, right?
Like, a rookie?
Yes, right. So that's. I mean, the cycle of the NFL. You have to find a quarterback. I mean, the Vikings have been in that. I mean, at least they've had something to show for it. I mean, the Bears obviously went to the Super Bowl, but I mean, they went all in on Brett Favre and all of that. And it's just
NFC Championship.
Yep.
They made it with did they make it with they made it with it was Casey or somebody. Who did they make it to the NFC Championship with?
Case Keenum.
And then they made it to the NFC Championship with Favre. So they've been there, right? I mean, they had good teams, you know.
Well, Craig is out on Kwesi. He doesn't trust him.
He's not good. He don't draft good.
He's analytical, right?
Yeah, no, he don't draft well at all. That's why it's like, I don't know. I think that's why he gave up that second round pick for Hawkinson, because he don't draft good.
Well, I don't know. I still think you need to give these general managers a little bit of time. He didn't have much to work with last year, though, did he?
What do you mean? Yeah,
he didn't have
a second round pick. He had he said it when he said this, when I looked at the interview with him, that he wanted to draft well while still being good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nah. You need a defense, bro.
You do need a defense. Yeah.
You got an offense that can move the ball on anybody. You can't with Justin Jefferson. Nobody can really stop the Vikings.
No,
it is what it is. Nobody can really stop it. And if you stop somebody on defense, then you'll have blowouts and convincing victories, and then people will believe that you're good. But nobody believed y'all because we knew that the defense couldn't stop nobody. Nobody. And then look what the Eagles did to y'all. Oh, they couldn't pass on y'all, because I'm not a Hurts fan either. So they couldn't pass on y'all. So what they do, they handed the ball off like 30 times in a row, and y'all couldn't do nothing with it. Y'all saying y'all need a defense. It's evident. That's all y'all missing. What the fuck you trade for TJ Hawkinson for? You need defense.
Well, that's the scary thing, about all these mock drafts for the Bears. Like, let's go ahead and get quarterback, wide receiver. This is not a fantasy team. You need defensive players. You need impact players on the line. That's how you build it. That's how, the Eagles just continue to reload, because they've got all these Georgia players.
Yeah, they set for the next 5 years.
They are. And the 49ers are that way. And it's
next 5 years set.
Yeah.
Set.
Vikings defense has been. Who did they play? Craig, who did they play? Oh, right? They're better than advertised. They played Bayesian, okay?
Right. Right.
So, if they're better than advertised, they must have been like on the 5-cent rack or something, right?
Come on, man.
I'd have to look at the numbers, but
I got the numbers right here, bro.
All right, yes, let's see the numbers.
I got the numbers right here, man.
Yes, the GM. So everyone, the Vikings are saying the GM sucks. I don't know. It's hard for me to say a GM is that bad. Without you get at least 3 years, right?
Nah. Danielle Hunter is the only one on that defense playing pretty good. And Harrison Smith had one good game against a quarterback that's too short to see him. That's it. Nobody else. Oh, the guy that didn't want to tackle Baker Mayfield, he plays good too. Ivan Pace or something like that.
That's the undrafted guy, I believe. Yep,
that's it.
So this will be interesting. Maybe Craig will answer this. And I put this on Twitter. If you got the number one pick, would you go with Caleb Williams or with trade for Kyler Murray? And obviously, overwhelmingly, people said go with Caleb Williams because you know what you have with Kyler Murray. I don't know. He showed he could be dynamic, so that would be interesting. When I look at Kyler Murray and where is he going to end up, it sounds like Cardinals are going to give up on him. What if he ends up in Minnesota? What if Kyler ends up in Minnesota?
Oh man, I think that's a huge mistake, yo. I just don't think that he's all in, man. He like to play the game too much. he plays video games. That's what he'd rather do than I need my quarterback in the building, bro. I don't want it.
But wouldn't he be like a player like Fields that would benefit from a change in scenery?
I think he would benefit from a change in scenery, but I think that because they see a lot of things like we judge, like if you ever look at the Cardinals' good years in the beginning, Kyler Murray's lights out. You know what I'm saying? And then he comes into Detroit and we blow him out. You know what I'm saying? And then he starts to lose, and then they beat the Rams early in the season and then get blowed out the first round of the playoffs. That's what he is. You figure that little guy out. He's a gamer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I give him that, but he's just not all in. And I think it'll be the same kind of thing. The same thing. He's not like, one thing about Kirk Cousins, he's all in. He just don't have talent.
Yeah.
So he's not as talented as Kyler Murray is. He's not as dynamic, but he's all in. Now, if he goes in there and become a Kirk Cousins and has that attitude where, you know, he might not have the tools that Kyler Murray has, but if he goes in there and studies the playbook and reads defenses, he hasn't shown that yet. He's just a very good athlete, got a real strong arm, but he's 5'8", 5'9". He's too small. You don't want that shit on your team. You don't even want somebody like Lamar Jackson really on your team. You don't want that.
Well, even with so obviously there was the big thing between CJ Stroud and Bryce Young, and you know, then people were saying, well, the Bears messed up by not, you know, taking Bryce Young or whatever. He's too little, and that's, you know, even with you know, Caleb Williams, I just, you know, that's just not sustainable. Because Caleb Williams is smaller than Justin Fields. I would rather go with Justin Fields. I would rather go with someone who's bigger, who's got the talent. He's got all the size. Obviously, you know, going back to Justin Fields, it's got to be, you know, between the ears. He's just got to decide. There's a lot of things he has to decide, and Kyler Murray has that as well.
Yeah, he can get the ball out. He holds the ball too, and that's what Caleb Williams do. I see him holding the ball a long time. You're not going to be able to do all that funky, fresh shit in the NFL. You can't. I mean, you get away with it sometimes, but when you're playing against those Ravens or even the Steelers, like the Cowboys, people that's flying at you left and right, that's sacks, and you're going to get yourself hurt.
The Browns. I'm scared for that Browns game. Oh, my gosh.
I told you. Did I tell you? What I tell you was going to happen? When that Jim Schwartz get over there, I said, put that fucking Garrett on they're going to have him on that wide 9, and they're going to be tough to beat. They're going to be tough.
He may actually get another head coaching job here, too. So
he needs it. He deserves it. He was a good coach. He brought us back, to be honest.
He did.
He brought us back. He drafted that defense when we had the number 1 defense in 14. Like, he's a good coach to us, but he could only take us but so far.
Yeah. Well, this has been great. This has been long. I appreciate you coming on, and we had a lot of great conversation, and looking forward to, I don't know, something this week from the Bears. Let's just get on to week 8, then on to week 9, and hopefully on to week 18. So we know where, you know, so. I'm just looking forward to a Packers loss. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, man. I know
hey,
what it's like. I know what it's like. Don't worry about it, brother.
But I will live vicariously through you.
No problem.
I can be a Lions fan for a little bit,
and I'm gonna make it exciting for you, brother. Oh man. Ask me the question you always ask me every week. Come on.
Where can we find you, sir?
On the top of the NFC North, brother. 7th letter 4 on X, Twitter. Same OG on Instagram and Facebook. Top of the NFC and the NFL, baby.
You can find me at NFLOutdated on Twitter, on X, YouTube, and at the bottom of the NFC North, and at the bottom, actually at the top of the draft. So
twice.
Thanks again. Once again, it's been Freezin for NFC North Podcast, episode 63. We will catch you again next week. Have a great night.
Peace, man. Be safe.